One of the beauties of the Electoral College system is we quarantine our close elections and the litigation that's apt to follow them in one state, rather than pouring all the ballots into one big pool and having litigation in every precinct across the country.
Although last time around, our ABC News Washington Post poll had President Obama's number dead on, 53%. Now they've got Romney at 49%. Talk about the possibility. Governor Romney wins, the popular vote loses the Electoral College.
We've had, this is our 57th presidential election. In 52 of them, at least, the popular vote and the electoral vote have coincided. John Quincy Adams in 1824, Hayes over Tilden in 76, Harrison over Cleveland in 88, Bush over Gore in 2000, and that's not a bad record, 52 out of 56. So I wouldn't worry about it so much. And if one wins the electoral vote and loses the popular vote...
2 out of 3, though.
But I think 2000 was a moment of great crisis in this country. And I think a lot of the polarization in this country, after with 9/11, is what's caused this country to be what I would call a cold civil war.
It would become even more partisan coming out of that.
And it would become even worse.
And in this partisan, polarized environment, Glenn, we're also seeing a huge racial gap. 6 out of 10 voters, according to the latest, white voters voting for Governor Romney. About 8 out of 10 minorities voting for President Obama.
Well, and not only that, but there was an Associated Press poll that came out this weekend that showed that actually the majority of Americans still admit, now this is a computer online poll, so people, I guess, are more honest than they are in a telephone poll, still admit racial bias. Now, that we elected a black president, so we didn't expect it all to go away. But theoretically, in a very tight race, if that affects 5% of the vote, which is what the assumption is, that could affect the outcome as well. Just pure animus. I don't think most people like to think that way, like to think that that's where America is. But I don't think you can ignore, it would be naive to ignore that as a factor.
If Virginia and Florida go back to the Republicans, it's the Confederacy entirely. You put the map of the Civil War over this electoral map, you've got the Civil War.
I don't know.
You're rolling your eyes, George.
Right? Am I wrong?
You are, and I'll show why. Democrats have been losing the white vote constantly since 1964, so that's not new.
John Kerry lost the white vote.
Here's what we're trying to talk about. 2008, Obama gets that many white votes. This time the polls indicate he may get this many. We're trying to explain this difference. Now, there are 2 possible explanations. A lot of white people who voted for Obama in 2008 watched him govern for 4 years and said, not so good, let's try someone else. The alternative, the Confederacy hypothesis, is those people somehow, for some reason, in the last 4 years became racist.
No, that's not my argument at all, George.
Sounds like
Please,
it.
No. I'm just pointing out the fact that the white people who've changed their minds happen to be in Virginia and Florida. And if you actually look at the map,
but that is
they were the only 2 states in the Confederacy. Let me just point out, they were the only... It's the Southernization of the Republican Party. They were the only 2 states in 2008 that violated the Confederacy rule.
Andrew made an empirical statement that is checkable and false, which is that the people moving away, the white people moving away, are in those 2 states.